baby ensemra TV Ghana so and any first time I'll share me and I will team me near me person your mama so subscribe to the channel we are no like cafe share for comment to comment section na making kind enfama obetimi afrem me nana kwame to ahene na ansa na ye be wura ensem ni mu no yenko Trinity Multimedia asuye na afei no yenko ye brandings nyina product branding just name it product any attire t-shirt branding check branding website designs just name it logo designs nyina no ye beye amount ewo Trinity Multimedia na ne bono so de da form say baby awo bia no ye be deliver na this man enya recognition internationally so what you say I know what I'm talking about into no obetimi afre Trinity Multimedia I was 0268 8728694 and that's 0544 249 668 or they just bring your ID on board Niger ni akan mano na ohwe flyer obeyi ato ho next time on come feature what dey na nkonko kase wo kope flyer bia bim that blurry flyers na ye mama na say monima say mumu ano ono onye say adwuma ni bi so what you say good enti enko je flyers any branded t-shirt fe embroidery ni nyina wo ye bi just name it on pa bo akra obe design ya ma what I say good now you right in same nima yenko kateche free fast ye bi na enkomo bi akoso about Mali Niger ntokwa ene say omo overthrow president military takeover na eke ka ho nyina na nei ananado danko akufo ado so a pow asojafo na asrafo say omonko enkoka eku aso na omonko ko ntokwa se ne be ya ombe restore the rightful president and all that's na enkomoji training no there has been some shocking revelations say Ghana the omu troops kwa the ebesinie ya fa omo ankonso a ni ebesinie now come here say omo ho no Sahara desert ninti no they know what they are doing now what are the implications say the enkrofo kwa ekoka ECOWAS one ni nyina gina Tinubu ultimatum 7 days or the ma military overthrowing then for you. Now you go to commodity na okadechi efifa achiche no ye ba ni akanyina no ye de beto aso e dia mama papa your friend Al-Wahab Farouk international relations consultant diplomatic consultant mbaba kwa ba
pachom jesu efifa
na o zeni
inshallah adom de ache ye ho ye mo so ho te sen
eye
o ma mi o na ya sho
wo sho obi a ho ye pa
okay sure be man
and now no na ye me your friend say
fa che me na I wasn't feeling well fa che me
no kotoko de ni bia
David so say me too kwa ba de cha na the bombs na too close no my bro
na anapay yantim free hotel Ghana, your government say what the air troops kabum am ye dia ko Niger near kwa kutu what is asem be na e dia ba asemwa
mbacho da be no okan menya sure
assistance now ECOWAS pass say omo the troops and I know Ghana is an integral part of the ECOWAS member and obviously when they make that commitment they will also be sending troops when you some information no
Minya and I say no crampa. It will be the first time Ghana will see an exposure. About the first time Ghana will see the exposure of the territories. Something I remember over the years. The last country on the West African belt, Ghana, obitimenya any coup d'etat again to some extent. And I say obinya rebel and insurgents, jihadists, terrorists, and I say any of those forms, Ghana, the first time Obenyebi, if they dare make that mistake, grievous mistake, so obey volunteer, and I say, or they troops, Ebekas, or they call ECOWAS or Monkoko Niger. The reason is very simple. What is Ghana's interest? What is Ghana seeking to attract, and what are they seeking to do? In any case, Ghana, the troops ban or they call. Ghana ni troop ben pa no so de ko
ara Ghana ni troops oh
there be mami misa because some of us have already educated them telling them say you don't have access to Niger, you do not have an access. Niger a Sahel region our top of you what be the coastal belt or military base or coastal belt Niger only sea belts and only baby a bit for coastal access. So I'm going on a vessel and the airspace of Niger is closed. Now, baby our access route the Beko Niger no the 4 Sahel regions are friends, i.e. Guinea, ne border will be to Mali, nyina coup plotters. So alliance. Mali, oni Burkina Faso, Webie, one border. Burkina, Webie, one Niger. They are all in co-hosts. These are the group who say we are against what the French system. We don't want it. Yeah, pay away. A self, then restoration and of safeguard of the homeland. They are all safeguarding their homeland. Now Ghana. What the countries be and ECOWAS beam. Now the geographical position of countries now also the Kwako support and the Oma army. 1. Gambia only army. Gambia ni army oni ohu helicopter da. Gambia army oni air force. Gambia army then what about Sierra Leone? Sierra Leone only army. Or Amia, only helicopter, only any form of vessel, or vessel or the coffin. Now Senegal a diplomatic hub, the only country in West Africa, only a coup d'etat, only army. What that fortitude, what that strength, so the Kwakoko, may both country by country. Togo, a Yadema, will not make a mistake, say ordin army, now army, Togo, na army in the size in SA. Chirami army size. Na so size a him fa no do omofa edo mako because no there we too overexposed to this heat and this wave because now the rebels any terrorists jihadists near that the next action spot no Togo because Burkina Faso ne there and Mali page ne there and friends Guinea page ne there and then they will not have access also our Niger side into Togo army or the free him. Benin Republic, only helicopter and only your friends say, only jets, only a bomb, only any form of military a year, say, or accuracy of with a government and a military and a group. Omako desert is soon insurgents are qua bepemine. Army like Niger or character, Mali army or character. Guinea army or character, Burkina army or character because
say character, that means what or more experience Anna.
Our experience and the toughness. And a baby terrain is the Sahel on the Sahara regions. Nyina ko our dream or kun our team or kun our desert or kun our ye. It is our country say Mabubudin. Guinea Bissau, on our army, our Mudu say, near me 10,000. What the sign call, what the day machine and equipment never transporting army. May country by country. Regards to ECOWAS. Côte d'Ivoire already Alassane Ouattara or the problem because they are still remnants and they are still insurgents operating indirectly Côte d'Ivoire because issues in this Côte d'Ivoire so can be once a breaky constitution. Alassane Ouattara with all his record why constitutional coup d'etat it also want a problem Yadema also so no 7 years indefinite also want a problem. Also so all battle ni fear. There is nobody in ECOWAS where you're afraid. No, you're safe any Benin Patrice alone on one is safe as far as the French countries are concerned. Now, countries say Abubodin and others, 15 countries forming the ECOWAS region. Army, our 4 countries who Kabum. Guinea, Burkina, Mali, Niger army. All these boys are Kabum. Now so Kwakufisium. 1. Geographical location. Obia no betimura esroho. Ghana troops in Timura Burkina because you must conquer Burkina before you go to Niger. Interestingly, Ghana must conquer Mali before Subenya access to enter Burkina.
But with that argument, if a collective effort by ECOWAS Movia, that means there will be a meeting point for all the ECOMOG military, before they move into it won't be a country by country basis.
I don't want to believe. Yes, it may be a meeting point. ECOWAS hasn't got already a standby force. No more location on any part of the region. Unless FIFA and a very prominent and then experienced journalist, friends, media person, who catch them say, Yohana ECOWAS troops war. You need be baby. A meeting point, which country? A country called Nigeria. Let's deal with Nigeria. Nigeria, the army, where you're exposed, where you're weak. Don't look at the numbers. Don't look at the
I was about talking about the numbers because it's about 230,000 a year military force. So I was about talking about the numbers.
Are you listening?
Boko
Haram is a small unit. That 2002, Omuko train or Mali. By Ansawad and Sadid, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Jenin, and Umtrini Boko Haram. I want to Mustafa Bonkano and Yusuf Mahmoud, Omko and Omko Sunaye, Omaba Nigeria. How long has Boko Haram terrorized Nigeria army? War Frifa, and Nanaya Abnefo, Mumusa Nigeria almost. No more military. I want to make Boko Haram. When the Boko Haram had pressed the Nigeria Gongola and Maduguri, do you know who came to Nigerians' assistance? Nigeria, I mean, they nearly finished them. Cameroon Special Forces from Gandere, from Garoua, from Marawa, from Mundu. They were the people who went to the bush to liberate the Nigeria army. They couldn't even enter. They have to enter Cameroon to come back to Nigeria. That is the information for you. Nigeria, when you Boko Haram abest Tomo Abuja Ako. Boko Haram abest Tomo Abuja successfully back to back Wako. Waba Kaduna abest Tomo Wako. Waba Maduguri Hodie were denying base with Diagro Hoko. Boko Haram Tima Balegos abest Tomo Wako. Where was this ECOWAS Nigeria Amina Minum Esi rely upon? Let me tell you the whole thing. The whole thing is I can understand the frustration and disgrace Tinubu Ahmed aka Jagaman Bolaji. Our di Nigeria Ekomu or the ECOWAS Komu. On my 7 days ultimatum, in Tinukwas and Kameno years are discussion and clear action. Who share the territorial geographical border? Nigeria is the only country next to Niger, Chad. Only Niger for border 971 miles, over 1,000 kilometers. What does it mean? What it means is Niger border a chance me free Accra, Echo almost about Ibadan, a busa. Now tell me, Sabelt Nina a Hausa belt. Niger only Nigeria border, only the north, Hausa belt. And then every family member on the northern tip of Nigeria. Let us not forget, say, Niger was part of Nigeria. And Niger, anything about Niger State, it's not Niger State, it's Niger State, but they didn't want to conflict the two because that side of it, the Niger River, I want Abacha free, I want Babangida free, Abdul Salam Hodu free, Atiku, Ominasan, they are all Niger people. Was this Buhari, Onyo Fulanini, will Mukachu free Niger. Now, all the top, Nigeria army, 45% to 47 to 50% are starting to be corrected. Enina Hausa 4 boys. Niger army, 60% Omina Hausa 4 boys. Niger army be Onyameno, Omsefri Sokoto. And if ECOWAS wanted to be a diplomatic hearing and listening kind of an organization,
which they laid it on the table, but Niger for this one,
Papa, ECOWAS in diplomacy. I'm saying not on air. ECOWAS will name their friend diplomacy, nothing next to diplomacy, because in diplomacy, next to it is the history and the background rationale. ECOWAS make a diplomatic history behind operations now. Any idea no any whether they or not they don't understand. Every time I'm sure there. ECOWAS goof one Tinubu or Kadia no name their worker because we're inexperienced. 2. ECOWAS, Mbajo with me.
Mitiopa.
About 2. So we say we call akoye negotiations. Now pursue being returning power. Look at the existing law of the country now. Mo kwa akoye military leader no country ne friend Niger. Niger no the constitution say so we hear anything related to treasonable offense. Anyama miensa ne ye o. Either say betu to form ye do be sha ho ye sie wamno anase ye do be sha form ya di abro amu anase ye cut you throat ye twa uti free so ana firing squad nyama miensa ECOWAS ti Abuja enum team with all the so-called presidents of the ECOWAS 15% of states. 4 then come. And I will say, yeah, kwa near the Bazumaba. Nipane di ka koso what is called a coup d'etat, treasonable offense. And what does it mean? It means umusa the access pathway. I a friend with diplomatic immunity and the exit immunity say. Sanetia dia Bazum say yadoba ye become with the Bazum says ya dear so. Na mom come with these grievances. See ya the Bazum every ebesine anachiani kase Bazum jia. Within a second, no move no action, no eternity, because
that is what the law says.
But what that is what the law says. And to other man, you are Bazun instructed on in Kofunia and a FIFA, what the angel. Now I give her bosso, now create you, now me say me Baba BG, now me you, now I have been for the FIFA dear. Fine, me sad wa babisi. Name mom no, me mean chess a FIFA, a corner person or corner, me you are, me the plain mount. When you call for Ninara, Monia Day, Momian Cosiniga, and a hint fan of West Africa, and I'm Famonco. That immunity had never been declared. Yet, ABS Africa, he's Nihabare, Habre, he's Nihabare, Chad president, dictator. Tama Omutuno. Could leaders in Cas Yeniano, Yentimi Kufulani to Fulani. It's the country I will pay, and Rumpejan Dembetra Kadaka. 22 years. Old man in 71 years, Africana, ECOWAS tries Yadene Kokot. What about Yaya Jame? Or elections who lose your hold power so on corner. The ECOWAS saw the sense. And they mean
Omberman exit plan.
Omberman exit pathway. A diplomatic dialogue. Ebusan is on crowd on Dokan. Or some mammy Fessika me Penfanko. ECOWAS shamefully agreed and allowed. Yaya James says Sikasa good. Edugu plain so first country of entry. Equatorial Guinea. Because also our the same mentality. Or the quarter Equatorial Guinea 6 months and San Wakwan Yirikromo Morocco. ECOWAS agreed to that. Argentina way there. Who negotiations. Who in another breath, most more diplomatic table, Makwate diplomatic table. When another person, why issue military intervention without solution has to do with how to do it. Abdurrahman Chiani. Now this was Jimmy.
So obeja to me mwamam sa. And now no Russia na yeti hey na Prigozhin asesa etuo ani akodi se won ne man for march to Moscow. Na Moscow kodru hoi went me anko nanso no there was a negotiation between a Belarusian president and a Vladimir Putin. Says Obama nkrofo ye free waba a Belarus dia wombeja a matching ana a Vladimir Jitumwo. So there should have been that arrangement.
That is what is called diplomatic dialogue in matters like this. And I've said it, winning BB. This Abdurrahman Omar Chiani, ne cousins, and I say Nebusiafo, Ebini, Mamadou, Sinusi.
Dumboya.
Sanusi, on Nigeria Central Bank Governor, Sobekaya, and Obeya, the Emir of Sokoto. On the Emir, no, you're very close. Only your cousins. And in situations like this, anything you create what is called special envoy with a special assignment. And Timonko for a bit is Sanusi, or Timura, because American, ambassador, I have a friend Victoria, or try so, Ramon Kacha said, don't make mistake. Free baby Amaha, or P. Omama Nangram. But Sanusi Timi Remo. Why don't you use somebody like Sanusi to negotiate? Now, when I bet my fans say, and say, Yanishi, name no, on for power and back, no, the power and man back. Yeah, man, Pierre Kramanako safe haven, and San will declare. Winning BB. Two election or two Bazuno. On say constitution of ECOWAS, I'm sorry to use the word, we are silly. I'm part of ECOWAS. When we say, went to the constitution of a Yengu, went to the constitution of Niger, went to constitution Yengu, and as we speak, or you're acting, but or you're head of state, an interim president at the same time, because one say constitution, so say constitution here, make declaration of 2 years. And for frontier, the Niger as constitution, if ECOWAS is listener, it's still existing.
Why me here was studio, but a brain into the Kwakwa not say, dear ECOWAS, dear, Crocro de John, be behind to me coming out of it.
At the question back home, and I am fan coffee. His Excellency Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Se ECOWAS de n'ani to France so a, se France n'ani omo kwa. Already France, the 1,500 troops, boy netima pam omo madwane. America 1,000 troops, wapam omo madwane. Now France airspace befa no, oba close to airspace. Into yamfa jet bi amaha, shoulder to air missile obeyi na to form. And also so pa ho a, adenti na ECOWAS region. Wagner say na problem a yeso o maba hom ye France basis so masino ECOWAS French countries and them one timi bua those countries and they purge out insurgents France anye na se no obeboa ECOWAS and then ya Ghana here 3 billion no ye ECOWAS member we funding member na France entima hu se Ghana su no ne ECOWAS will be ye me koma Ghana 3 billion and then ya Nigeria ayi talk tough your friend is say Bola Tinubu enti want me anka say that time Ghana 3 billion kwa maba me Ebola enti sana te de ka no me de koma MF na me munuam trust no ho me ntua maka. The end of it before I end up is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu 1993 a wonya kwan ebe ye Nigeria o wini ya nko oba beko before 93 oba beko your friends in Nigeria lower chamber and I say parliament and na Sani Abacha etu Sani Abacha choosing kono. The first person I will raise the campaign team and here from restore and I return to democracy was Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In 93, Abacha confirmed Kokwa Kokunu Janie or Tra Eza 98 Kopums Abacha Wansanoba. So that explains the idea of Bolaji Tinubu, and if not to anything at all, one no I Chevron and I hear Juma all his life. One is Chevron I Juma all his life. Chevron Susuna yes I gas. President and then Alassane Ouattara, they couldn't tell him it is never done on the ECOWAS table. Now I know a woman mass. Okay, Namuya, mobile frame military commanders, and no catch say it should be the last resort because they themselves know say it is not possible in any phase. So the last thing say